And we are live. Hello, puppies, and welcome back to another episode of the Isle of series. I really need to figure out this magic effect, especially for this episode, because tonight is Isle of Fantasy, and we may be delving so deep you don't know what's real and you don't know what's fiction, and that is the goal. So, joining us, first of all, I would like to say hi to this kid here. He's actually not going to be hiding in the shadows. He's going to be helping me co-host tonight.
I came out of my corner.
And joining us to talk about Isle of Fantasy, I would like to welcome onto the show Nathaniel, the Thedungeontalk.
Hello.
How are you doing tonight?
I'm all right. I've been doing good.
Good. How's the week been? Has it been pretty chillax over there?
It's been pretty chill. Just watching TV, playing video games, general stuff, you know.
Yeah. Playing video games is always the ultimate pastime. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not speaking from experience or anything, but
No, I play no video games at all.
I think it used to be bad, my addiction to Skyrim. I was watching a live stream on that today, and I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't played this game in forever. So, but speaking of video games and the fantasy realm that revolves around them, I want to talk to you about fantasy, because if any of you had watched Rod's channel, then you will know that we were actually talking about Dungeons and Dragons, and we popped up for a brief cameo during the show, and now we are going to be continuing that and talking all things fantasy. So Nathaniel, you think you're ready?
Yeah, I think I am ready.
Knuckles crack meaningfully.
Cricking
So,
sound.
What is it about the fantasy genre that you like so much? Like, what is it that appeals to you more than anything else?
Personally, it's the fact that it's not real and everything is so different from reality, and that many times reality can be extremely boring, as we all are experiencing during COVID-19. So I just love that fantasy is really broad. Some people could argue something like Star Wars is fantasy and not sci-fi, because of the whole Force thing. But like, I don't know. It's just that it's not real, and there's so many ways to change it. One of my favorite things to do is to go ahead and like choose a random genre, like I don't know, Western or modern or steampunk, and then just add fantasy, magic, and dragons. Magic, dragons, and gods. It's fantasy.
Now, if all of a sudden you got a VR headset and it was just like fantasy themed all the time, do you think you'd ever resurface, or would you just be like, nope, I'm staying here?
I'd probably build some machine that I do not have to move from. So, like, I would sit on the toilet with like an automatic feeding pipe, and I'd just be like,
right, just the snack.
The rest of my life. Yeah, you don't need anything else.
I wouldn't say so. I mean, I bet a lot of video game guys wish they could do that. Just like the snack dispenser, never have to get up, don't have to sleep. This is where Aderol comes in handy, kids. Don't use it for school, use it for video games.
Yeah, like, hey, what's the right amount of time to leave your child in front of the TV? 11 hours or 12?
They don't need bedtime. It's fine.
Yeah, who needs sleep?
Maybe you need sleep. Okay.
I read a book where in the whole idea is it's weird, but it's a VR world where you go into this world and you become in the world. So like you're in this thing called the coffin, and it feeds you, it restrooms you, and you're just sleeping there.
Wow.
So people just play virtual video games when they sleep. And it's really weird and cool. And then of course the whole thing, like, you're trapped in the game, and if you die in the game, you die in real life. And you know, it wasn't too interesting, but I thought it was a cool concept.
No, dying in virtual reality has nothing to do with the real life. slightly intense, but I mean, I guess such as the fantasy realm in books. It almost sounds like Ready Player One. I've never read
Oh my god.
but
The book and the movie were fantastic.
I've actually been wanting to see the movie. I saw it displayed up in my store for like ever, and I'm like, I need to watch that movie.
Like the movie, it strays away. It doesn't have as much Dungeons and Dragons stuff as I like as the book had, and I love the book for that. But again, they wouldn't really have translated well into the movie if you've seen the movie. If you've read the book and seen the movie, seen the book and read the movie, you would know what I'm talking about.
Right. So, what do you like more as far as fantasy goes? Do you like the more medieval dragons? You know, you have your villages with like wood burning fires.
Would you like to trade?
Or do you like more of the idea of like modern fantasy where like you have a witch walking through New York or a teenage vampire slayer, that kind of thing?
Depends on what mood I'm in. Some days I could really go for like, all right, we're gonna be Western and we're all gonna be on our horses and firing guns and stuff, and then there's a wizard riding a horse and you're like, yeah! Like a dragon is raiding a train, and there's some cool stuff you can do just mixing genres. One of my something I've been trying to do, but I really haven't gotten around to it, is I want to make a sort of, I'm not sure what it would be, a comic book, a book, or a animated series or something like that.
Right.
It would sort of be like, and it's called Anti-Gravity, and it's like this world that's like sci-fi planets with medieval fantasy people on them.
It's okay.
Lady Fantastic. I have played Zelda Breath of the Wild. I have Twilight Princess, and then an Ocarina of Time on the Wii, and then the Wii adapter thingy. But I have not played it yet.
Ooh, I've heard that the Breath of the Wild one turned out really, really good.
It's so incredible, and I wish Pokemon would actually take some stuff from that, because the newer ones I really don't like.
So what would you say your favorite fantasy movie is then, out of everything you've seen?
Movie? In my notes here, I already wrote Onward, the newest Pixar movie.
Oh,
because
okay.
I loved that movie. It was so good, and I think everything other than everything but the Cars sequel, every Pixar movie but the Cars sequels has been really good. Like they managed to get 4 Toy Story movies that were all like heartbreaking.
Right, seriously.
The
The second one makes me cry every time.
Yeah,
when
that's
they're
why
talking to
whenever
Jesse.
you guys are like, let's watch Toy Story, I'm like, I'm gonna play Minecraft upstairs. Bye.
Yeah, no, I think I was gonna say Onward, but then you mentioned Ready Player One. That's a tough one. I'm gonna still say Onward though, because Onward is more of the literal fantasy, but
Right.
then rather than Ready Player One, and it goes into the thing you were saying, like modern fantasy, and it kind of flips it on its head, because rather than having those magic creatures in a human world, it's taking a human world and putting the magic creatures in there. So the magic creatures are the humans, and it's totally flipped on its head, and it's really funny. And I just love it how they like play on the tropes so well. Yeah.
Right. I've seen a lot of clips from the movie, but I haven't seen the actual movie yet. I mean, it looks pretty good, because the one thing that I found interesting is, considering that it is a fantasy-based movie, the fact that like magic doesn't exist, and that's like what they're finding throughout the movie.
Yeah. Like, and I just love all the like references, like Mountain Doom. That's Mountain Doom from
No.
yeah, it's Mountain Doom, and then that's Mountain Dew, and it's just such a great idea.
Especially since Mountain Dew is associated with that MLG gamer.
Right.
So, fun fact, I hate carbonated drinks. I will only drink it if it's 3 days flat. Most people are like, that's disgusting. Like we had friends over last night, and then I told them I will only drink it 3 days flat, and the mom was like,
I mean, I can drink carbonated beverages, but it's not.
You're a soda hound.
I am a soda hound. It's not. Yeah.
Like, we're trying to cut you back from how much soda you drink, girl.
I mean, I can drink it flat, but it's not preferred.
yeah, so just like hide it for 3 days, and then she can drink it. Yeah.
So, if your favorite fantasy movie is Onward, what would be your favorite fantasy game then?
I'm a huge fan of Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, even though I haven't picked that up in a long time. But I'm gonna have to say Minecraft or Minecraft Dungeons. Minecraft Dungeons is pretty much Minecraft and Diablo. Diablo. That one. Diablo. I have the Diablo 3 on the Nintendo Switch.
Ooh.
The Eternal Collection thingy. Revised edition, super premium package, whatever. I have whatever that thing is. I played through that. That was lots of fun. And then, so it was that. And then there was the, I came across Minecraft. And that just blew my mind because I am a huge artistic person. This is an art challenge that I did with my brother and mom. 15 minutes, 5 minutes, 1 minute, 10 seconds.
Oh, right.
It was really fun. So I'm a huge artsy person, and I love drawing, and I love drawing D&D stuff. But when I got to the creative side of Minecraft, I was like, oh my god. So I spend lots of time playing Minecraft. Like, before this, I was playing Minecraft. This morning, I was playing Minecraft. And then Minecraft Dungeons came around, and I'm like, oh my god, this is like freaking D&D, but there's no classes though. That's the huge thing they didn't do was classes, and I really like that.
Oh, right. I remember when we first started playing Minecraft, we couldn't figure out the mechanics. We didn't understand that you could punch a tree.
Dude, I was amazed that there was colored glass panes when we started to play. I went into creative and I saw the green glass, and I was like,
Our first world, we built this dirt house up in a tree because we couldn't figure out that you could hit the wood to get wood.
yeah, so we were just like digging out the mountain just to make a house.
It was a little, yeah.
Yeah, no, I had no idea. Like, the first day, I had came into the game, and so my experience with Minecraft was very weird. I'd heard about it from my friends, and I was like, oh my god, this sounds like a really great game. So I went overhead and grabbed some and I was like, all right, I want this. And I found like a lot of videos where it's like, get Minecraft for free, and I'm like, oh yeah, sounds great. They were one of two things. They would let you download it, but you didn't have an account, so you couldn't play. Or B, it was they released a version of it that was before like alpha and beta.
Right.
And they released it to the public, and it was just that. So I was like, dang it. And eventually I found, hey, I can use Minecraft Education Edition.
Ooh.
Oh.
And then apparently it's not good. Unless you're in creative. If you try survival, to make a bed, you need like hydrogen. And it's all and then apparently it has a lot to do with Minecraft Education Edition has this huge thing with chemistry. And I was like, oh, that's super cool. But I need hydrogen to make a bed.
I do not understand that at all.
You're gonna
eventually
I
just
lava
playing
and
creative
acid to
there.
make a house.
Yes. So I just kept playing creative there, and then eventually my brother and I actually got Bedrock for our Switch, and we just played there all the time. We did like a couple survival worlds, but we were honestly too wimpy and ended up going in creative at the end. But now that I have Java now, and I've been playing that so much, I've been doing real survival, and it's so much fun because I just suck at survival. Like I actually have, I figured out that you punch the tree.
Right. Same.
Like, where does that make any sense? Why would you punch the tree?
I think there was a game theory that actually says that that's like not physically possible.
Well, of course it wouldn't be physically. Who wants
It's
a
not
tree?
possible.
Have you guys seen that video that the people who made Minecraft made, where they actually put their development team in a forest to survive?
Oh yeah, I saw that. They're like,
Yeah.
can a Minecraft developer survive in real world? So they
And he's like about to punch the tree, and he's like, "No,
No.
yeah."
Now you are also a huge D&D fan as well, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And that's what you base your podcasts and your show on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All of D&D.
Now, just for context for anybody who doesn't know, what do you do on your show?
So my show is a podcast where I, Nathaniel, talk about 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons, info, inspiration, tutorials, and interviews, all across the board, all different types of Dungeons & Dragons. I talk about, I'll talk about different D&D classes, races, monsters, how to world build, just different concepts, like creating interesting characters was my episode 7, and then I'll do class episodes, like I said. Episode 8 I just came out with, which is with my brother, which was a lot of fun. And he's a huge fan of The Monk, which is how you play a god in Dungeons & Dragons.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, most classes get around like level 13. Around level 13 or 14, they start to get really overpowered. Monks get overpowered around like level 5. And there are 20 levels.
Wow.
Which, I mean, is probably the best way to go, especially if you are playing for a power campaign.
Yeah, like, I hate when people go and they're like, what is the best? What is the most powerful? There isn't the most powerful. And
It just depends on the campaign and what you're doing.
yeah, no, because if you do it in certain ways, you can get like a really underpowered monk. Like if you choose to go the route of Way of Shadow or Way of Open Hand, until like the highest levels, they're really underpowered. Because they have weird... The Way of Shadow... Okay, so the monk class is basically choose an anime, that's your D&D character. Way of Shadow is Naruto. Way of Open Hand is Goku. Is Dragon Ball. Like, they have the ability to send deadly vibrations into somebody's body, and then they're dead by removing those vibrations.
Why do I feel like
They get super overpowered at high levels. Other than that, they're weak. So it's really... There's no best. There is never a best in D&D.
Right. Now, for you, what is your favorite player to play as?
My favorite character to play as
Character,
is...
player, object, Nick.
My favorite character is Dale. Dale Aerith. He is a halfling rogue, and he is a bundle of joy and pain in the butt. He is so much fun. He's this little mischievous guy. He just does whatever. And he goes around, he just he loves nicknaming people. Like there was this, we were playing Curse of Strahd, and spoilers, but Strahd showed up at the house that we were staying at for the time being and was trying to get this one girl for whatever reason. It was super creepy, and eventually I'm not gonna go into that because there's a bunch of spoilers. He's the bad guy is super creepy and is trying to kidnap this one girl. So what we did is we had 3 people who could shapeshift or transform in some way. So we had them all turn into the girl. And then I proceeded to take the girl into the basement and chop off half of her hair.
What?
Well, there you go.
And then her name is now Half Baldy. We met an abbot, so I just call him Butt because Dale has the mind of a 5-year-old. This is where you just because Dale is basically my male amalgamation of breaking all the rules and not caring.
Right.
Like, I don't have to follow any rules. Like, I steal stuff whenever I want to. There are no consequences.
Right.
Like, there are
as long as you don't get caught, that is.
Dale is literally #no regrets. He will just run into anything and then destroy it. And there's this spell called Tasha's Hideous Laughter, where you tell a joke and you magically make them start bursting into laughter. Yeah, Dale doesn't do that. He has Dale's Hideous Pun.
Uh-oh.
Where he says a pun that is so bad that if he succeeds on the spell or whatever, they start breaking into laughter just as much as he does.
Now, would you say, what do you prefer more often than not? Being a player or being the DM?
I like being the DM because I have the control, and then I can play whatever character I want. I could just throw in NPCs for fun, just because I want to, or just because I want to mess with the players. Like, I know some people, like, they did a sewer dungeon or something, and then the first encounter was a sludge ooze that sprayed them with waste. And he said, I did that just to make sure the players knew who the boss was.
Oh.
Really was in charge, as they're all covered in sewer water.
Oh, jeez. I was gonna ask you, what is your favorite thing to do as a DM? Just besides like the world building and creating a campaign, like what's the top thing that you love putting your players? Like, what situation do you like putting your players into? Like danger, or do you like them solving puzzles, or is it more mischievous?
Well, I want to say definitely showing them who the boss is and just putting them in disgusting situations. Like, I will never give up a chance to spray them with sewer water. I mean, why not? But other than that, I mean, combat is always great, but there are so many other options to combat that are so much more intriguing when you're thinking in terms of challenges. Like, anything other than combat is lots of fun. Like, I love doing mysteries, but you have to be careful, though, because whenever something gets too obvious, the players think it gets really obvious, the players think it's too obvious, and then there's a twist that's not there. Like, you'll do a pretty standard mystery, like they find some clues, and then they have their suspect, and there's a big twist.
Right.
And their next suspect, and then that's supposed to be the guy they get. But then, no, it's too obvious. So puzzles are always fun. One of my favorite ones I did was, in my current campaign, they had crashed. Okay, so this is a funny story. In my last campaign, they were supposed to crash their airship.
Mm-hmm.
One of them blew up the attackers that were supposed to like knock down their airship. So this next campaign started out in the airship, and then they crashed immediately. So I was like, and then they crashed, and then they had to escape this like dangerous forest, and they get to these mountains, and then there are these hordes and hordes of like ice goblins. And the only way to get out are to ride these wyverns that had... So, like, these wyvern rider dudes came in. They're like, here, we'll help you. And then they got stabbed by the ice goblins. And there were just more and more ice goblins. Like, each time they killed one, like, more started to crawl out of the snow. So it was this never-ending... Like, there was no way they could have mauled their way through. So they had to sort of, like, the Western theme of, like, taming the horse. They had to tame the wyvern. And what really blew it up was one of my characters knows Draconic and how to speak to wyverns.
Oh. Well,
so that kind of messed with things. But then again, there were still some more people who were not able to get on. So it was fun.
Well, I mean, it sounds like a lot of fun, especially when you get situations like that where it makes the game, feel more engaging and more story-like, Or
when they come up with, like, creative things to, like, solve problems. Like, there's this item called Thermium that I added, and it's basically whenever you strike it against another rock, it, like, blast of fire comes out of it. So one of my players created a stick where he just duct taped this stone to it, and then he strikes it on the ground and it blasts fire at his opponents. It's really cool.
That sounds pretty cool.
So I really like when they come up with creative solutions to problems.
Got you. Now, what would you say your favorite setting as a DM would be. Do you prefer to have them out in the wilderness, or would you rather have them be in a central hub with like NPCs and stuff like that?
Well, I actually I'm gonna see if I can. If you can let me see. I have a picture. No, never mind. I don't have a picture of it, but I have. You know what? Yeah, I'll do it. All right, I'm gonna pick up my laptop and then I have a big map
Oh,
of
wow.
my D&D world.
Wow.
And so I always create a world that has pretty much everything I want in it.
Right.
I want so that way I can basically like pick and choose where I want the story to go, and like as they level up, they can like explore more areas, sort of like an JRPG video game.
Right. I was not expecting the map. Dang, man.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now, do you usually start them in like if you have your players? Do you usually start them kind of in a central area and then let them branch out, or do you more like to guide them?
I usually like giving my players options. Like something I loved about Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is they have this linear stretch of the game. And it's not even totally linear. Like you have to get these 3 shrines, and then you can leave the plateau. So once you do that, you can go ahead and you can then go anywhere you want. So you've got like, and then you can go anywhere you want.
Right.
Or the world is yours to explore. Bam. So I like so players will then go on to a huge argument on exactly where they want to go if you could let them just go anywhere.
Right.
You kind of have to guide them at some point. So usually I give my players options. But starting them in a central location does help because then they have they can go for the first couple of levels without outgrowing the challenges in that one area.
Right.
And there might be this so there's an elf kingdom, an elf forest, and some farming towns. They can sort of like branch out into those areas, and then once they're ready to go around, once they're leveled up high enough that they can go pretty much anywhere, then you want to start guiding them to more specific locations in the story. Gotcha. I am on YouTube. I'm going to be adding videos that just have a still frame of my logo, and then audio, but I don't have any videos up yet, so you can't find me very easily.
Well, as soon as you do, though, I mean, you can always use your Instagram to boost it. I mean, So my last doofy question that I have for you is: if you were to have a mythical pet, what would it be?
Dragon.
Oh, that's a cool
Dragon. Just straight off the bat.
Oh, it has a screenshot with his podcast on there.
Well, first of all, why dragons so quickly?
I love dragons. I love everything about dragons. Like, they're just so cool.
You love dragons.
There's something that's so not real. Like, it's a flying winged lizard that breathes fire. Like, where is this in real life? Like, why can't I have one? Like, come on, man.
Right.
Like reality. Why the heck not, man? Please, I want a flying lizard that breathes fire. That's logical. But no, I'm a huge nerd about dragons, and I know so many different types of dragons. I used to have memorized every How to Train a Dragon dragon type. And then I have a list of like real world dragon types. So if I were to have a dragon, I would choose an amphitheater, which is a sort of variation on the Mesoamerican Quetzalcoatl.
Got you. Before we close out, did you want to show everybody where they can find your podcast?
Oh yes, totally. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and screen share them.
Alrighty. Alright.
So yeah, you'll see my thing there.
There we go.
So this is my. This is my Anchor page. I am found on anchor.fm/n-cix217. Which Anchor is the program I use to launch my podcast and distribute it. So this is kind of my thing I had. I am available on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Anchor, Google Podcast, Overcast, Castbox, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, iTunes, and iTunes. So I'm pretty much anywhere you can get podcasts at.
Very nice. Well, I think from there we are all ready to go. Is there anything else you wanted to say before we hop off?
Yeah. I do not go by Nate or Nat or Nathan. I am only Nathaniel. My dad says that people on YouTube are always calling me Nate, so I want to make that clear. I am Nathaniel.
Well, I'm glad I kept that consistent in the posts. Rob just out of nowhere. Well, thank you everybody who came, and thank you to everybody who has been engaging in the chat and asking questions. And Nathaniel, thank you so much for joining us. This has been a lot of fun.
Thanks for having me. Yeah. Yeah, great.
I basically jump on any opportunity that I can to talk about fantasy because, I mean, why not?
Yeah.
We were going to get you guys together again for Rod's show. You guys will have a reunion on Just a Rican and his comics, and then it's going to be.
I don't. If you're going to announce, turn the microphone towards you.
Yeah, you're gonna announce.
We are all getting together for another reunion between Nathaniel, us, and Rod the Rican. We are planning that for August 23rd. So you guys, please make sure to go over and check it out because I think we're just going to be hanging out and talking more things fantasy and just having a good time. So I think with the shameless plug plugged in there.
You plugged in a shameless plug, just a cable named Shane.
Yes, exactly. I should be looking
Should be like
actually.
a place. Should be like a place called the Shameless Outlet.
Oh, that's a good name.
That's what we'll do
Put your
every time we
shameless
have
plug in the shameless outlet.
Shameless outlet time. It could be a category in everybody's videos.
Yeah, somebody picks up a Shameless Outlet and be like, "All right, Shameless Outlet." Picks up plug and is like, "All right, here," and they start talking.
Here's your plug. If news flashes up on screen. Alrighty. Well, with that being said, thank you to everybody who came. Nathaniel, thank you so much. And we will see you all later.
The end.
Bye.